Hello, sixth graders. We are looking at place value today. So across the top of your notebook for your title, you should write down place value, and then you should write down these 3 learning targets. So pause, write these down, and then come back. Okay, our first learning target, I can identify the place of any given digit. I can identify a digit given the place value, and I can identify the value given a digit. So we have a place value chart here that you should write down. In the middle, you'll notice our decimal point. Okay, right here. Everything after or to the right of it, okay, this is the decimal part or part of a whole. Everything in front is a whole part. Notice that everything after the decimal ends in this TH or THS, the sound, and everything in front of the decimal ends in just the S or the ones, tens, where after the decimal is the tenths, hundredths. So when you hear that THS, we know we're talking after the decimal. So you should have this entire place value chart written down in your notebook. So we have 3 vocab words here that we should have written down in our notebook. The first one is the place. And when we're talking about place, we're talking about where the digit is in the number. Okay, so where exactly these specific numbers fall or their place. So in our question here, in 492, which place is the 9? Well, that's right here. That's the tens place. Okay, so where that number falls. The digit now, that's our numbers 0 through 9. Each one of those is a digit. So 2 is a digit, 3 is a digit. So when the question asks us, for example, here in 3,157, what digit is in the hundreds place, we're looking at this, that's the 1, that 1 digit. Okay, the value of a digit, when we're talking about value, we're talking about kind of how much it is. Okay, so if we're talking about the underlying value, this 1, it's in the tens place, so therefore it's the value of it, or how much it is, it's 10. If I was asking about the value of this, it's a 9 in the hundred thousands, so that would be worth, or value would be 900,000. Okay. Okay, so write down this part, identify the place of any given digit. So write that down. And then our 2 questions here. Okay, so the first question, in 73,612, in which place is the 3? So when we're talking about place, we're talking about the tenths, the hundreds, the thousands, things like that. So the 3 is right here. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So it's in the thousands, ends with an S because it's in front of the decimal, the thousands place. Next one, in this number, in which place is the 2? So now we're after the decimal, so we have tenths, hundredths, so that's the place. Okay, our place value chart. So it's in the hundredths. So these are examples to have written down along with the answer. Again, after the decimal ends with that THS. Identify the digit given the place value. So this would be your next title heading to write down. Identify the digit given the place value. In 83,547, what digit, so this time we're asking for just a specific number, identify the number in the 10,000s place. Okay, so we have to figure out where our 10,000s place is. So we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So that would be our 8. Okay. You could use process of elimination and look at your choices here. And you could say, well, I know it can't be the 7 because I know that's the ones place. and I know that the 5 is in the hundreds. So then you could kind of eliminate some answers if you're given multiple choice like this. Okay. Next one in this number, which digit, so again we're talking about the number, is in the tenths place? Well, THS tells me that we're ending after the decimal. I can reference back to my place value chart from the beginning to help me to know that the tenths place is the first spot after the decimal. So our answer on this one would be 7. Okay. So that's when it's asking about the digit, the specific number. Okay, the next title here we have is identify the value of the digit. So again, value is kind of how much something is worth. So what is the value of the underlined digit? So we have an 8 here that's underlined, and that's in the tens place. So we're kind of thinking of it as it's not 8, it's not worth 8, because it's in the tens place. That 8 is actually worth 80. Okay. The next one, the value again, same thing. So we're looking at this 3 here. It's not just worth 3 because it's in the millions place. So it's actually 3 million because that's where the place is. So therefore its value, or its worth, 3 million. Okay. What is the value of the underlined digit on this next one? So now we're after the decimal here. Tenths, hundredth, thousandths, again ending in the in the THS after the decimal. So because so thousandths, it's worth 8 thousandths. Okay, so I'm going to write that 8 thousandths would be written like this. Okay, so think about the place value it's in, but then you're thinking of it as not just that specific digit, but how much that number is really worth. So again, the 8 is in the tens, so we would write that as 80 on that first one. Next one, the 3 is in the millions, so 3 millions, so on and so forth. That's when it's asking about the value. Okay, so again, whenever you see this guy here, it tells us we should stop and think. So this part, you're just going to think about this. Why do you think it is important to understand the different values of digits in a number? So why is place value important? Why is it important to understand that a number is in the tens place or that something is in the hundredths place? Why is that important? And how could not knowing cause a problem? So if we didn't know where the tenths place was, or we didn't know where a hundreds place was, how could that cause problems? So just think about that for a second. See if you can come up with anything. So that's the end of our video for place value. There we go. So at this time, look back over your notes, see if they look good. Did you miss anything? And you can then check your understanding. Is this something that you could explain to a friend? If it's easy to explain, then you probably have a good understanding of it. You can always go back and re-watch portions of the video. Otherwise, there's always more practice available for you. iExcel is a great resource to find some more practice if you're needing it.